We're going to be learning about the resume, improving one if you already have one. So if you brought one today, that's great. If you didn't, that's fine too. We'll be learning some specific vocabulary. You'll get to create your own job descriptions based on previous work that you've done. And we're going to practice the whole thing, the speaking, the listening, reading, and writing as well. Let's get started. So if you were here last time, it's the same thing as before. If this is your first time, my name is Rebecca Garcia. I'm from Los Angeles, California. Born and raised there, born in Hollywood. And I'm currently a first grade teacher at an international school. The name of it is St. Paul American School. I just came from there right now, so I spend my days teaching little first graders as well as coaching volleyball. Before that, I was a teacher in San Francisco, also teaching first grade. And there's where I got my master's in teaching as well. I have a bachelor's degree in history and political science. And I was also an English teacher in different countries as well. So that kind of gave you a little summary of my resume right now as well. And now, just the people around you. So 1 to 2 people that are close to you. If there's no one close to you, maybe turn around. And just introduce yourselves. Say what's your name, what's your age, are you a student, what do you study? I know sometimes maybe we don't have the chance to practice our English all of the time, and so let's go ahead and practice the basics. Try to find something maybe you don't normally talk to. So please go ahead. I'll give you a couple minutes to answer these questions. So here I used the accent marks, the resume marks, but you will see it often without the marks, okay? Without the marks on top. So it can be a little bit confusing because you have to think about what is the context, right? What's happening? Without the marks, it's resume, which means, right, continue. With the marks, it means what we're here to talk about today, okay? And when you don't see the marks, you just have to ask yourself, are they asking me to continue, or are they asking me about a job document? Okay, so just keep that in mind. So the resume is a document, a summary that you will use to apply to a job. And on it, you'll find things like your previous experiences. You'll find you'll put your education, okay, and relevant skills. And when I say relevant, I mean things that are connected to the job you're applying for. So I can play volleyball and baseball, but I'm not going to put that on my resume, okay? Or maybe I have dancing skills, but I won't put my dancing skills on my teacher resume. Think about the resume as a self-advertisement. You are advertising yourself to your future employers. So when you see advertisements on TV or around the city, they're trying to sell something and you're trying to sell yourself. And it's got to look good, the best that you can make it. It's your first impression, which means maybe these employers have not met you before. It's the first thing that they're going to see. So saying all of this is hopefully showing you how important this document is. We have to make it concise, and concise means short. Short, because your future employer, somebody who might give you the job, do you think they have a whole lot of time? Maybe not. They might not have a lot of time, and they might have 100 resumes. So you have to make sure that yours sells you quickly and sells you well. So here are some examples. These are just things I actually found online. So briefly, this is just what it looks for and what we're shooting for. Oh, it's just a picture to show you what it's supposed to look like. Later, I'm going to give you one. Okay, I might not have enough for everybody, but we'll do our best. This is just to give you a picture of what we're talking about. So, a vocabulary tip. Resume or resume, noun, concise, customized summary of your experience, education, and skills. Some of you might see or run into the CV. Raise your hand if you've seen or made or heard about the CV too. Good. So usually you hear, oh, you need to give your resume or a CV. Okay, so they are different. Can anybody tell me how they're different? I want you to turn to the people next to you or person next to you and say how you think that they are different. If you're not sure, you could just tell the person next to you, I'm not sure. If you guys are right or not. So the resume is going to be something shorter, and the CV is a detailed document that is going to start from the very beginning of your career, and you're going to keep adding. And your CV might be 3, 4, 5 pages long. And if you're in academia, if you're studying at university for many years, you're probably going to have a CV because you've done a lot of work, a lot of projects with your university. But the majority of people are going to be using a resume. Resume for most jobs. And the CV is mostly for people staying in university for 8 years, 12 years, getting their doctorate. So you use a CV. I had somebody here say that it's for somebody maybe that you already know. In fact, the CV you're only going to use if you're in like university. And there's one other thing. Let's see if it's on the next. Here we go. Your resume is about 1 page. About 1 page. If you are a university student, it might be a little bit more than 1 page because you're trying to show all that maybe you don't have a lot, so you put more things like your awards or you have a longer skills list, but about 1 page. So 1 page is your resume. Academic roles at a university. Which one? Which one? Now this one, you customize it, so maybe you change it. Resume, you got it. Preferred in the US, what do you think? Resume. Resume is preferred in the US for most jobs. Okay. In Europe, I can't really speak to that very much, but from what I hear, they use the CV more often, and it might be like more of a blend. But since we're at the American Center, US Embassy, we're going to be talking about the resume. It's more popular there in the States. Okay. So, what are the resume parts? Which ones can you name? Again, talk to the people or person next to you and think about which parts of the resume you already know. Turn to someone next to you and tell them which parts go in. Next time will come with twice as many features, okay? Please turn your attention to the one to the side that has the resume. I used whiteout to white out the different sections. So there's different sections on this paper. And we're going to go over what they are. Okay. The answers. See if you can fill in the blanks. So there's a blank line. I'll quickly show you again. Here. See if you can name what the different resume parts or resume sections are. If you have a pen or pencil, write it in. What do you think that's called? What's this one called?
Từ đâu rồi? Điểm mục cái gì?
Okay, let's review them. So at the very top, I call that the contact information. So maybe you're going in for an interview and they might say, oh, I'm looking at your contact information. They're referring to the very top where it has your name. What else do you see up there? You can just call it out. What else do you see for the contact information? Address, your home address. What else? Telephone number. What else? Email address. So you want those 4 things. I didn't put address up there, but it should be up there as well. So you want those things. And you want to give them different ways of talking to you. Through email, through phone, things like that. Okay. The next one, professional summary. You can also call it a resume summary, but I'm going to go with professional summary. And this one's a little bit new. So, I started making resumes 10 years ago. Maybe I'm older than you think I am. And I didn't make a professional summary. So this was a little bit on the newer side for me. And I hope that later when we go through it, that I can help you and we can work together to talk about resume or professional summaries. And this is a quick highlight of your skills and experiences. And it's just a couple sentences, 2, 3, 4 sentences that kind of show the people that you are trying to impress what you can bring to the table. Next, we have your skills, your strengths. On this resume, they call it your areas of expertise. And it says Microsoft Office proficiency, what else? Time management, self-directed, QuickBooks. Okay, so those are going to go under your skills. The next one, what was the next part of the resume? What's the next part? Work experience, good.